Hallelujah. Siami Bana Nzambi, all praises. Natata Nzambi Mpungu Tulendo al Congo. So nini na nini samanda. Hallelujah. For he is truly worthy to be praised. I want to thank YouTube and Facebook for being with us. And as always, everyone that is here with us on Zoom. Matondo for being here. We truly thank you, and appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to have an open discussion. First, let me say this. In Kosi Luzolo, that was a beautiful prayer, my brother. And, what you had said in that prayer was some of the things that Brenda and I had discussed this morning, So one thing that came to my mind was I was thinking of, what could I call this, some sort of subject, and something that came to me was, we must leave this Babylonian system. And, not just leave it physically. And I'm just going to be upfront, I'm going to speak. Not just leave physically, but leave mentally. We have to detach ourselves from this Babylonian system. Now, some have said this Babylonian system is all over the world. So no matter where you go, you're in the system. But are you truly in the system if you detach yourself from the system mentally? Now, there's many things that people, could say, like, well, we got to work. We have to provide for our family. So we need jobs. And I agree. And I'm not saying, okay, step away from your job. I'm not saying that. You do have to work in order to provide, but also trust Tata Nzambi. What skills do you have? What can you bring to the land? For those who are able to lead. What skills do you have that you can bring to the land? What can you do while you're here? That would generate money for you. So, think of those skills that you have and do it. Cooking, baking, whatever, but we have to leave this Babylonian system. Come out from among her, my people. So yes, that was a beautiful, beautiful prayer. Matondo again, Matondo. All right. So what y'all want to talk about?
I just want to say, Yaya, that's a really powerful point that you made, because it's not just the physical, because sometimes we can come out of her physically, but it's a mental breaking away, and I think it changes when we change our frame of mind, because the world has been implemented in us so long. But when we start changing our frame of mind and saying to ourselves, I can break away, I am free, I am moving in a new transition in my life, I am powerful, I think that's when we can start to see some of those things breaking away from us mentally, where we just start feeling at peace, even when there is chaos around us.
Yes. And you're right. we have been indoctrinated so much, not only with Christianity, but with the ways of the West, and this is our survival, so we had to adapt to their system. But I love what Brother Luzolo said the last time we were discussing something like this. And I think maybe, was it last week or week before? I can't remember. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. But he said, being here, where we are in the United States, he said, it's just a glorified jail cell. That was profound.
Yes.
That messed me up when he said that.
It's true.
Yes, ma'am.
Because they give us things to make us seem like we're benefiting. Everything, is for our benefit, but then you realize it's keeping you captive. Having a television with all these programming, and you have all these features on your devices, and you're thinking, well, this is making my life easier, but no, it's putting you further into captivity.
Yes. Yeah, they, I had said to Brenda, I said, they give us a sense of freedom. And that's what it is. It's a sense. It makes you think that you're free.
It's an illusion.
You're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the monetary system is the actual jailer. The monetary system of the United States is based on always being in debt. They give you the illusion of prosperity, of getting all the things that you want, but you have to constantly work for that dollar. The only way to truly be free is we have to get away from this monetary system. Now, one thing that you spoke about is that, yes, everyone works in order to make a living, provide for their family. But the work should be guided now towards working in a community, everyone working together to upbuild one another and serve Dr. Nzambi. When I say that, is that when you develop a community, when you work to get your land, to build your home, you use these tools that this system has right now in order to do that. Once your house is built, once the community is done, then we can truly break away from this system of things that is going on right now and start our own monetary system. We don't have to use that fiat. We can use goats. We can use other things that we consider value as a community to trade between one another. But this monetary system, until we can break away from that, always going to be enslaved to this system, because that's what you need to survive.
Yeah.
Yes. We could even trade seeds. That could be your currency.
Yes.
Things that we add value to, things that we need, things that the Most High put here for us to use.
Yes, you're right. And that's what we did, in scripture. When you look at our ways, our culture, in the biblical days, what did they use then? I know they said that they had the shekels and the what is it, the nari, I believe, but they also used animals. They used grains. They traded using things like that. And we can do the same thing. Those are survival things. Certain skills that we have. I give you a goat. So yeah.
One of the things that I see that's holding our people back is uncertainty, especially when it comes to the land. You hear so many different things of people being swindled or being taken advantage of. And so one of the things that I'm doing is cutting through all the haze and finding out exactly what it is that needs to be done. I know that the culture is very different. How they conduct business here is very differently. Some of the things that we expect that they should just automatically know, that's not part of the culture. They don't. So we can demand certain things, but they're not understanding, well, why do you need that in order to make a decision that you need to make? Why do you need that in order to decide this is where you want to live or this is where you want to stay? Why do you need that to decide if you want this land or not? So communication, how we communicate is a little differently that I'm learning now when communicating. But once all the stuff is understood, once I can get an understanding of exactly how they conduct things over here, how do we acquire land at a reasonable cost, how do we make the move, how do we do the transition, then I can take what I've learned from them and speak it in the language that we know, our people know, so that they understand exactly what's going on. And then I can go back to the indigenous people here, because now I know how they do things, now I know how they maneuver, how they handle business, and then translate that back over to them. So it is a learning process. And it's very difficult if a person wants to just come over and just say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to establish this. They could have $1 million, but if they don't understand how to communicate it, they don't understand how they actually do things, they will lose all of their money and still not accomplish anything.
Yes.
That's why it's important. You don't just go over there as an individual, say, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over there and then start a business. What you first have to do is you have to interact with the people, learn the culture, befriend the people, and gain their trust and respect. Like when we went over there, that's what we did. We went over there mingling with the people, talking with them, going around to the actual neighborhoods of where the actual people workers where we stayed at. That's where a lot of tourists go and stay, but it was not because we wanted to. That was the only place actually that we could find in that particular area. But we were able to go into the heart of where the people were, and you're able to see how they live day to day, and they're very welcoming. So you have to develop, that's with anybody, you have to develop a rapport. And because just like we have received negative information and an image about them, and so have they. My friend from Cameroon told me that all they show them over there in Africa is the bad things about us in the hood, game banging and all these things. So this is in their head. They're thinking this is who we are and this is how we act. So you can't just go over there saying, I'm going to do this. No, the sticks are coming together. So you have to allow time to build a relationship and trust with one another. Before you go doing it. That is a big mistake that some people make, thinking in their head, oh, I'm going to go do this. It should be first, let me reconnect with the land and my people. That should be the first and foremost thing in your mind when you come in. Let me deconstruct my mind from the ways of Babylon and try to, learn how my people over here do things. And I'm not saying leave everything here, but you take the good and you leave the bad and incorporate it in there so that you can help our people to improve. Because a lot of times what happened is, I'm gonna tell you something about our people now on the continent. They can smell you off from a mile if your intentions are impure. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
They can sniff you out very quickly. If you come in here on the land and your intent is just on you and yours and it's for selfish gain and not for the people, not, because we're coming, the purpose is the sticks, as I said, coming together. And the sticks of us that are in the diaspora that was taken away from the motherland. And we're coming back and we're rejoining, coming together as one. And that takes time. So you have to develop a rapport, relationship, learn their culture to understand their mores and their ways and things of that nature. We can't come trying to just force something on them. And this is how they've been living way before we've been living this way. This way was forced on us. So we should not be coming over there trying to force the ways of our colonizer onto them, and even vice versa, because they picked up some ways from the colonizer as well. And that's the thing that we as a whole all need to be doing, deconstruct our mind and our ways from the bad things that we have picked up from the colonizers that colonize not only us physically, but spiritually and mentally. So we have to deconstruct all those things.
You are absolutely correct.
Amen. You're right about that, Ms. Brenda.
Absolutely correct.
Do you think that if it's hard for us to get along as a people here, how much better is it, going to be? Because you have people here, and when you try to tell them certain things, they're not even listening. I'm a wellness coach. I also do sister walk, so I have my own business. And these people are always coming to take. They'll come and they'll sit in front of you. You have an appointment, they come and they sit in front of you. And then when you're almost finished, then they say, well, I can't pay you today. So even with that, we're talking about, just bartering, trading with each other. We can't even get that right. So if we cannot get it together here, even, as a group, is it going to change?
It's gonna have
I
to,
was,
it's gonna have to change. And I'll say this too, real quick. I don't know if that was Luzolo was getting ready to talk or not. I don't know, but very quickly, I'll say this. The Most High always have a remnant. And I was listening to this man, and what he said was very profound. And we all know this, but we don't think of it in this manner, because this was one of the reasons why I got off of Facebook. This young lady was talking about, just as what you said, how people don't listen to the things that she's saying. And he said, well, if the people are not listening to what you're saying, they're actually devaluing your information. Don't waste your time. Talk to them if you need to, but don't give them your information if they're not listening, because they're devaluing what you're saying. So you want to focus your energy. And we're living at a time now, we know the importance of energy. And we don't want to be using our energy up on people whose intentions are impure, or they're not listening to us. Just I know that it takes time with people, but you can tell those who just don't get it. After a while, you just like, they're not getting it. They don't want it. And that's how I am with some people. They just don't want it. They keep saying, well, I hear you, but it's always that billy goat that comes in, that but. Yeah, I hear you and I understand that, but, and it go back to the way of what we have been taught by the colonizers. See, that's why I said we have to deconstruct our minds. That's why I said that, because we have picked up a lot of ways from the colonizers that's not right. And that's one of those things. One of the things that they use, the tools that they use against us, that they taught us so very well, and they do the opposite of, is divide and conquer. Yep. They have used that so strategically against us till it's inbred in us now. They taught us that. They taught us to do that against one another, and they were very successful at it. And so that is one of those things that we're going to need to deconstruct and allow the Most High to remove from us, so that we can come together as a people. And as I was stating previously, he always have a remnant. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not going to make it. Everybody's not going to believe. Everybody's not going to go back home. We just have to face the fact. Right. That's just how it is. Those that he has chosen, because he says that many are called, but few are chosen. So those chosen people, he know who they are, and they will be able to come together, to work together, to be honest and not dishonest. Yes. And work together collectively to build, to create, to do what because we are creators. So those collective few, we will be able to come together and do those things that you're asking. Yes. They talk about how there's a weeding away. The Bible said there's a winnowing fan in his hand. And then when you research about a winnowing fan, they would throw the grain up in the air and had a little fan for all the for a separation. Yes. And that's what he's doing now. He's separating, because he knows that everybody's mentality is not where it should be, and not where he wanted to be, and they don't want to change. Some people just don't want to change. We have to face that fact. But I believe that those that he have chosen, they will come together and do.
And this is also why, you hear me using the word that we've been indoctrinated. Okay, think about how long that we've been in captivity. You know, we're in the West. We know the ways of the West. We learned the ways of our captors. Okay, we learned it. And we use those ways so well. And we use them against each other. So why do we use them against each other? Because that's what we see. That's what we were taught. That's all we know how to do. I have to survive. I must take care of myself. So if that means I need to step on you, if that means I need to put you down, if that means I need to talk bad about you in order for me to get to where I want to be so that I and mine can have what we want, I'm going to do that because it's about survival. Okay? It's about having the nice things, you know, of the world, you know. That's what I want. So I'm going to do what I got to do. But those are the wrong things to have, the wrong thoughts, the wrong ideas. We're brothers and sisters.
That's right.
So I should not be looking at my brother or sister to try to hurt them.
That's right.
To try to do underhanded things to them so that I can look good.
Yes.
Okay. I'm all about reaching my hand across and say, let me help you. Let me work with you. We can do this together. Let's grow together. We need to put the mentality that we've learned in these lands, in these diasporas, where we are. We need to put that mentality down. There are some good things that we've learned here.
Yes.
And it's the skills that we have learned. What do I mean by skills? I'm talking about the things that
Like she's a life coach.
yes, life coach. You know, we got doctors, nurses. You know, I do agriculture. You know, I build some things. You know, I can go into a house, lay carpet, floor tile. You know, that's what I'm talking about when I say skills.
Survival skills.
Yes. So we take those skills back to the land and we build Africa. We build our land. That's what I'm talking about. And leave those sneaky, dirty, cunning ways of our captors. Leave it here. Leave it in Babylon.
Yes.
That's baggage that we cannot take. That's baggage that Bana Nzambi will not allow us to take back into his land, the land that he chose for his own. He's not going to allow us to bring that stuff, that mess in his land. Remember, he told Massa, remove the shoes from off your feet, for the ground you're on is holy ground. If he chose that land as his, it's holy ground. So we cannot bring mess in his land.
And we have to remember, we weren't always like this because we have that concept of I am because you are, not just only in the Bantu, which is what is Ubuntu. Also, they said that Ubuntu is equivalent to in Kemet as Ma'at. You know, so we did have that concept amongst us. So if we had it amongst us in the past, we can bring it back again. Those people that desire to return back to our ways where we can bring back the glory of Congo, the glory of Mama Africa. You know, that concept was there, but you had to respect. See, they changed up a lot of things and they manipulated things because we know they said that they call it the 10 Commandments, but it's really the 10 words. And it's more than that. They said that they got it from off of the 42 Ma'ats. And it does not say thou shalt not steal. So it's saying that, you know, it's a possibility you steal, but you shouldn't. It says when it's translated, I have not stolen. I have not stole. I have not killed. So it's saying I haven't done these things. So we had principles, we had morals, we had values, we respected life, we respected creation, the things that the Most High created, we respected nature. And when we have these concepts and we respect all of these things, all of us can survive, and then there's peace in the earth. We don't have any peace in the earth now because all that was lost, because the people that are in rulership now, they have no respect for life. They have no respect for Mother Earth. They have no respect for the things that the Most High has created. In fact, they said that the ways of our ancestors were primitive. When what they did, they lived in such a way to preserve, conserve, and to respect nature. Even the very houses that they lived in was designed such a way they didn't need electricity because in the summer it cooled and in the winter it warmed.
Yes.
That's creativity.
Yes.
And so they think that their ways is so advanced when actually it's destructive. So I don't know if that helped you a lot or answered your question, but I have hope in my people, as you can see. I have that hope. If we lived it before, we can live it again. I'm not saying everybody's going to come that way, but it's a collective view that he has, that remnant, that desire to go back to that aspect of things where you respected people.
Right.
When you respected your elders, you just that when I grew up in the time I grew up, you get backslapped for disrespecting someone that's older than you. You get slapped in the mouth. That's the God honest truth. Now these kids today, so you see how we've gotten far away, even here in America, from the things that our ancestors brought home, because you didn't disrespect your elders. That's what I was taught. You don't disrespect and when they said something, even if it wasn't true, they listened to them. Am I right?
Yep.
Y'all that are older,
You're
I
right.
remember whoopings that I got that I knew it wasn't true, but because it came from an elder, I said, Mama, that's not true. I didn't do that. You calling them a lie? And I got a whooping.
Yes.
I got whoopings for nothing.
Yep.
So these
I
are
have a
principles
question,
that,
sis.
huh?
I have a big question. As you start talking about that, how do we reach or how do we get our children back? Because our children are so, it's like our children are so far gone. It's scary, really. We started out, when the Most High woke me up, the first place I went was to Hebrew Israelites. And my children, they were excited, the divine woke me up himself, and they were all excited. They were there. My oldest was 15, younger one 11, and they were very excited when we got there. And the things we saw was crazy. The way, they belittle the female was totally, and then my children it's like, they're like, Mom, yeah, we've heard that. Yeah, don't want it, so now for them, I think they're at the point where it's like almost everything is correct. Mommy, stop judging kind of thing. It's about the money, are they paying? So it's that. And like you were talking about, not much respect, for adults. And I don't even really think for themselves.
Right.
So the big question is, where do we even start to start getting our children back? Because they're also looking at a lot of people who are talking about, okay, we know the divine creator and, we're the people and everything like that. Honestly, most of those people are struggling. So it's like, okay, all right, So.
See, the question is, I was listening to someone, that is a very good question. I want to hear what a lot of people have to say about that, because you're not the only one that's dealing with that. All of us are. We have a young son, and it's just like he's disinterested in the things that we teach. So we think. But when we start, we have family Bible study too, and we ask questions, he knows the answer. And he's like, this guy's listening to us. When we think he's not listening, and then I'll say something, say, yeah, so-and-so. I'm like, well, how did you know that? He said, oh, when y'all be talking, I'll be hearing you all. So we have to be the change we want to see in our children. We have to live it, because
Right.
looking at us, the number one idol in a child's life is not Kobe Bryant.
Right.
It's not, Ivan Irvison. It's not these guys that they see. It's the people that they see every day. That's the number. And we learned this when I was in nursing school in psychology. The number one idol in a children's life is their parents. So they have to see us and see the change in us and see that's a start right there. And then we have to see, well, what caused it? Why is it that our kids we're not taught? See, that's the thing. We're not taught as us because it stopped somewhere with us. Because my generation and older, we dare not disrespect an elder. Like I said, you get backslapped.
No, that is abuse.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying you get.
Oh,
I'm just
that's
saying you get. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You get.
Well,
You
see,
get
the world,
disciplined.
the world that we talk about does not exist for them. It's something that they cannot see. We see it in our mind. We know it. We see it. And like you said, back in the day, you didn't disrespect. You'd be waking up. No, you didn't. But look at what our children are going through now. Not only do they get this stuff reinforced at school, but now things that would never be heard of on television is on TV, on the radio.
Mhm.
Everywhere they go, they see this behavior, this
Yeah.
thought process reinforced over and over and over and over again.
Music.
It's going to be extremely difficult
Mhm.
for our children.
Yes,
To
it's in
wake
the
up.
music. It's in the music. That's what the
Mhm.
Mandela's has been putting out in the music, the negative music and rap. I remember when rap really changed for the worse
I
is when
remember.
NAA, them ones from California, Snoop Dogg and all of those guys, when they came in with the gangster rap, that changed everything because they had to get rid of the ones who was rapping about consciousness and this and that and about positivity. So they had to, the enemy had to come in and sow a seed of dysfunction. And this is exactly, and then constantly hearing it on the radio, playing it in your car, playing it in the neighborhood, everywhere you go. So you feeding off of that negative energy.
Mhm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
That's why.
only hope for our children is what we build. That's why we as pioneers, we have to build what we talk about. Because right now, for them, it's a fantasy. We just have we just saying stuff. That's not what they see every day.
Right,
They don't see any of that at all, period. We're talking a foreign language.
right.
We have to go and we have to build what we're talking about so they can see it, they can experience, so they can know that what we're saying is true.
Well,
And
Lazzolo, we were here. We were in America, and we're talking about how we're different. So, what was it that made us different than our generation? See, that's what we need to look at. What happened to cause the break? So, once you get to what we do in nursing, we have what we call root cause analysis.
right.
If you do not analyze and get to the root of the problem, you cannot solve it. For example, when I was in working in a nursing home as a manager, we had meetings every day about falls. I had to do an investigation on the floor when it was a fall to see what was the root cause analysis so that I could prevent that from happening again. So I had to go and do an investigation, and right now it could have been something as simple as they were dehydrated, looking at labs or whatever. Based upon my investigation, I had to look to ascertain, okay, this is what was happening and this caused the fall. So we got to look at to see what caused the fall from the generation now from ours, because we're in Babylon. We were in Babylon and we grew up, and we're talking about we had respect. So we have to look at the root cause analysis.
It's when they removed and it was designed for this, when they removed the father out of the house, when they introduced social service. So it brought an imbalance into the home. And the Most High recently has been dealing with me with this word balance, balance, balance. And he said to me, being true balance is having truth and righteousness. And now what we're seeing is he's bringing things back into balance, because we must understand the truth and we must live a righteous life. So we have been, the enemy has caused all of this to throw things out of, the whole world is out of balance. Now that we as the chosen people has been awakened, it is our duty to bring things back into balance.
Yeah.
And that's where we are now, coming back into balance, because we're coming back into the truth. We're coming back and walking in the path of righteousness.
Yes.
So Elder, you're saying one of the things was the destruction of the nucleus of the family structure.
Designed for the Black family. Because when you have mom and dad, there's a balance in the family.
Yes.
When you remove one of them elements, what do you have? There's an imbalance. But it was designed that way to tear us down as a people, to try to destroy us as a people.
Yeah.
But even though they tried, that even failed. But it did some damage. Yes, it did. It did some damage, but they didn't succeed all the way.
No.
Because there was going to come a time that the Most High would awaken his people to who they are. And know that the enemy already know our power lies in unity.
Yes, that's it.
That's why from the enemy, when they first brought us over here, separate the light skin from the dark skin, separate the men from the women, feed them slop pig stuff. They already knew that wasn't part of our culture, but they said if we can get them to deny themselves of the truth, to contaminate themselves, because once they realize their true nature, they're not going to. But if we get them to sin, then we got them.
And that's key right there. We got 4 hands raised, and Elder, I love what you said. My goodness, we got 4 hands raised. So we're gonna go in order. We got Brother Albert first. Go.
Yeah, if I can get out, if I can get that mute button right, I'll be okay. But I wanted to try and stick closer to what the sister asked. To answer her question, she was asking I believe she was asking in the context of as a people, as a nation, what can we do to get our children back? I don't think we can. But let me explain. There is an element I think we forget here, twofold. First of all, on the negative side, the enemy has said, let us deal shrewdly with them. And in doing that, one of the biggest things that someone just said earlier was the music. Ever so often, and it bothers me to do it, but I believe the Most High would have me do it so that I can stay in tune with what's going on. I'll turn the radio on and just listen. And oh my God, it makes me want to vomit every time.
Yes.
It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. They have so messed the children's minds up with that filth, and it's filth, and at the same time, it's a drug that is killing their brains. Remember, I don't know if you all will remember, there was a music executive that came out many years ago with a report that talked about the shift that took place in the music industry, where he went to a meeting somewhere in California in the hills, and they told how they were going to do this. They laid out the plan.
Yeah.
And right after that is when you had
Yep.
gangster rap come out and so forth, and they went from there.
Disrespect women and
Mhm.
yes,
So
yeah,
what they did, and they directed it at us,
exactly.
and we all know why.
Yes.
Mhm.
But he said he was escorted from that meeting because he told them, what you're talking about is genocide. Now, he didn't say that in context of television. He didn't say that in context of what they would teach us in schools or not teach us in schools. He didn't say that about anything else, but that one element was genocide. Why? Because of the repetition of it.
Mhm.
You force people to become what they hear over and over and over. The
Yes.
book says that faith cometh by hearing, and
Mhm.
that hearing cometh by the word. Well, wait a minute. There was a pause there where it says faith cometh by hearing. Faith in what? You can have different types of faith. You can believe a lot of different things based on repetition.
Mm.
So if I constantly pound this into the brain of these children, that they will believe, therefore that is their faith. It becomes a religion to them.
Psychology.
So now you got
And
that
they
element,
act it out.
element.
Mhm.
But yes, and they act it out and they live it. It's a lifestyle to them.
So Albert,
But
you're
on the
saying it's the
positive side
music.
of this,
You're saying it's the music.
I'm saying it's the I would say 80%, because you can take music wherever you go and you can hear it wherever you go, but you don't have the reinforcement from other things like education. You're not always in the classroom, always on a job, but you can go anywhere, any time of day. You can go and sit in a church service with headphones on and listen to somebody spout a game rap, and
Yeah.
that preacher up there don't know what you're listening to.
Yep.
Most of the time now, they can't even recognize that you have earphones in your ears.
Yep.
This stuff goes with us everywhere, 24. You go to the bathroom, you can't take a television with you, but you can take that cell phone.
Mhm.
So it's constant. When these kids go to sleep with it in their ears.
Yep.
It is
Not ours.
constantly being pounded.
Not ours.
Well, yeah. No, hey, mine, no. When my grandkids come over, nope.
He thought he was gonna outsmart us. I cut that phone off. Because the phone is in our room at nighttime. It comes in our room.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what
Even though
my
I have
daughter's
it
doing
set
now.
up where I can cut it off. Because I got it set up, it still comes in our room. He said, how come I can't keep it at night? It stays in our room.
Let me say this also, and I got to get to that positive side of this. If your children, especially your boys, constantly have that phone, monitor what they're watching, because one of the hardest things for a man to avoid, and if he gets entangled with, come out of, is pornography addiction.
Yep. It's
Mhm.
very
That is something. I'm telling you, the Most High delivered me from it, but I'm telling you, that is something that is, oh my God, that is horrible. That spirit grabs a hold of you and it does not want to let go, ever. And the indoctrination starts when they're children. So I'm telling you, you should monitor that. But I got to get to the positive side to answer the sister's question. The positive side of this is why I don't think that we will get all of our children. I think we can get the ones that are in our homes. I think we can draw them in and get them back by what you all have said. But the Most High will have his glory in this. And won't it be a glorious day when instantly all of our children's minds are converted at one time?
Yes.
What will happen and what will they say when that happens? Man, that had to be the Most High did that. Because it was an instant thing. It's not something that's going to happen based on mankind's planning and working. It will be him. Therefore, he will receive all of the glory. He said he wouldn't share his glory with anyone. That way he gets the glory, period. No one else. So the day is coming. They will be changed. Those children's minds will be turned around. Will we see it? I hope and pray we do. We just have to trust him and know that he's got us. He's got us as a people. Therefore, he's got to have our children also. But those that we can't affect change on and that we have influence with, that we can impact in our homes. Like me, my children have children, and I can impact those, especially my boys. I can impact them in positive ways. It is incumbent upon me to do all I can to get them.
Yes.
Because some will perish in the process. We see it every day. But the day is coming when we'll see them come back. In the meantime, I grieve looking at and seeing some of the things that's going on with our children. I was, I'll say this quickly. A few nights ago, I was on my patio cleaning fish, of all things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we live in an apartment complex, and I saw some kids, and we live in a pretty nice apartment, so this was strange in the first place. I saw some kids jump the fence and come in. There were about 5 boys, maybe 6, and I paid attention to them, but I didn't. I kept doing what I was doing. When I finished, I was walking to the dumpster to throw the trash away, and I saw these kids walking towards the gate. And I said, okay, let me slow down a little bit. Because nighttime, it was about 11 o'clock. It's just no good, going on. So I thought I'd let them get far enough that they were ahead of me, far enough that it wouldn't be any issue. And I kind of came around the curve to go down the hill where the dumpster was. And they were right at the gate, which was probably about 50 yards away from me. And I heard one of them say, "There go that nigga right there." It popped off a shot at me. So I slipped. Oh yeah. Wow. And now here's the thing. I always have backup with me on my hip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And had I fired off a round, I would have hit one of these boys, probably killed him because I don't miss. So, but instantly, the Most High had my grandson, who's 14, his face came in my mind like, that could be your grandson. So I backed off, I got behind one of the cars, and I called 911. And the rest of the night, man, I hurt because I'm thinking, had that been someone else, one of those children might have been dead, if not more. And justifiably so.
Yep.
So that's where we are with these kids. And when I looked at them, I realized who they were. And I showed my grandsons, probably a few weeks before this, these kids hang out at a store at a 4-way stop, not far from where we live. And I told them, no good is going to come to all of those boys hanging out at the store like that. Now, back in the day, we used to hang out and there were no issues. We didn't cause problems like that.
Yes.
But the way these kids' mentality is now is different. I said all that to say this. Will we get them all? I don't think so. We can get some, but those some, I believe, will be the ones that will help us get the rest when the Most High will get and keep the rest when the Most High makes the change in their mentality. Something is coming to help us as a people, and it's going to be big, it's going to be broad, and everybody going to know who we are based on that something. When he does it, it's going to be big.
I'll say this real quick, Brother Albert. Just this morning, Brenda said to me that I don't know if it was a dream that she had. I think it was a dream she had about you. And she said that she was asking you, are you all right? Is everything okay? So now I know what it is. She stepped out, but she'll be right back. Wow. And Kosi, Kangi, And then we'll get to you, Brother Adrian. And I saw you, you Queen Tamara Ya, you know.
First, I want to say to Yaya Makayilu, he said it exactly what I was thinking, Kimbo, to him, because what the enemy, the Kadi and Bimbo, the strategy was to break up the Bantu family.
Mhm.
The strategy was, if we can bring the father out of the hole,
Mhm.
if we can't kill him, we can imprison him, put him in prison.
Mhm.
So now we got the female that's we'll even reward the female to not even want the father back in the home.
Come on.
And so that way, the children that are coming up, they won't have a balance. When I grew up, I had my mom, my father, and my grandmother. We had Big Mom. So we got it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We really, and it was a village. If I was caught doing something wrong and Miss So-and-so down the street saw it, it got back to my mom, or it might have got back to Big Mama first. Then I got it double, triple, and my mom said, "Wait till your dad gets home." Got it again. But
I remember those.
the good thing about this is whenever Sister Rafea was asking this question, the Most High immediately took me in my mind to a scripture in Malachi. Something is getting ready to happen. Bana Nzambi is getting ready to do something that's going to shake the world.
Yes.
And that scriptures talks about how he's going to bring back the spirit of Elijah that's going to fall. And he says, and in that process, before the great and terrible day of Zombi, I'm going to turn the hearts of the sons back to their fathers and turn the fathers' hearts back to the sons. So something is coming where those children are going to come running back. It's going to be a move of the spirit of the Mwanda. So Tata Nzambi knows exactly what he's doing, and he's going to get this thing worked out on our behalf. So be encouraged. A shaking is coming, a quaking is coming, and he's going to break down everything the enemy has tried to do to his people.
Yeah. Yep. And get Kosi Adrian.
Matundo Masakila to the family. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
One. Yeah, I just want to build off what he was saying, that I noticed like over the years, how you were saying how they broke up the Black family. Like I was telling one of my brothers I talked to, like it started like way back in the day. Well, I think about the 70s or 80s when they came out with the welfare system. And they were saying that if you want to get these government benefits, that a man can't live in a house. So how a lot of our women like took upon that stuff, and it kind of like really messed things up. How they don't want the man around because they want to keep getting that government check coming in every month. And not only that, I was noticing that I know sometimes I'll be scrolling through YouTube, and you have some sisters on there are like taking on the ways of the white women, and they're bragging about like doing sinful stuff. I'm like this is very sad that we came at this point in time when women are bragging about selling their souls, is doing all types of wicked things. But I noticed one thing. When I went to Africa, it's like that spirit of lust and stuff in the atmosphere. I didn't feel that spirit until I came back to America. It's like that Jezebel spirit, but it's all across the world, but it's very heavy in the US. And I just wanted to talk on that subject. Yeah.
Every unclean, foul bird.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't have a hand raised sign, so I don't mean to, to butt in.
You're fine.
But as a single mother, I have to say this, and I'm not trying to be controversial or anything,
Mhm.
but I've heard a lot that they remove the men from the home, right? But there are a lot of men who actually remove themselves from the home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know, I was never on welfare. As a matter of fact, you know, it's hard to say this, but I had everything together until I got married. I helped my ex-husband in every way, shape, or form. Even his own mother would say to me, "You're spoiling him." My thing was, how can you spoil your husband? I never got it. But I have one daughter, she just turned 22 2 days ago. And I have another one, she'll be 19 in July. And he left before my last daughter was one. So basically, I raised these children on my own. I gave up my job. I decided that I was going to stay home and homeschool my children because I wanted to give them a foundation.
Mhm.
So I homeschooled my children. I homeschooled other children. And years later, and this was no child support, no nothing, right? I did it on my own, right? So no excuses there. Years later, he would come back to say, wow, we would have been rich by now. But my thing is, well, why aren't you? Because I was the one left to raise these children on my own. I mean, nobody took him out of the family. He walked on out his merry little self. So, you know, sometimes I have an issue hearing all the time, they remove the men from the family. I mean, there has to be some form of accountability, you know, on our men that have to take accountability and responsibility and not always trying to blame it on they, you
And
know.
what you're saying is very, very true. It's two parts.
Mhm.
Yes, our men has to take responsibilities for their children, and also the system has also played a role in this as well. And I understand what you're saying, because that is true. Because a lot of our men have walked away from a lot of their families and left it on the woman to raise. But that's twofold. So that was the reason why what I said. But you are absolutely correct.
And allow me to say, Queen, I applaud you, for raising your kids, and I applaud all females, all of our queens who stepped up and raised their children and had to do it by themselves. Okay, I take my hats off to you. There are, as Elder was saying, it is twofold. Our brothers, our kings, and I'll just bluntly say it, need to step up.
Yep. Take their rightful place.
Yes, because your children are depending on you. They need you. They need you. Now, again, I do applaud our queens that took care of their kids by themselves and raised them. But our kings need to be in the picture. They need to be. Why do some of our kings leave the home? A lot of times it's because they don't want the responsibility.
Yep.
That's a hurting thing. You made the kids. You helped in the creation of them. So man up. Take care of your responsibility. We have to man up. Now, some men can't deal with a strong woman. Our Black women are strong.
Yes.
And there are some men that just can't deal with it. They feel like they're being challenged. You know, I'm king of the house. What I say goes. You listen to me. You do what I say. You know, and a lot of them love to use a scripture that says that the woman is to be, the man is the head of the home. They love to use that, but they take it out of context.
Mhm.
So what is that truly saying? What that saying is, as I follow the
Come on.
Most High, then my house will be in order with me.
Yes. Balance.
Yes. So me being the head, yes, you are the head. As long as you are following
Yes.
the head. Okay? Because you're not going to do anything to jeopardize your marriage or your family. You're going to always stay in line with the Most High. You're going to treat your wife the way she's supposed to be treated. You're going to treat your kids the way they're supposed to be treated. You're going to take care of them. You're going to do what you have to do in order to provide for your household. So as you do that, then guess what? Your wife is going to fall in line. And she's going to help you. This is why the Most High said, it is not good for man to be alone. Let us give him a helpmate. One who can work alongside of him, not behind him. So we need brothers, kings, to get back to that place. So I say to my kings out there, if any of you have walked away from the queens and from your kids, I beg you, go back to them. Ask them to forgive you and reconnect. Now, maybe she's moved on and got somebody else, but reconnect with your kids.
Mhm.
Reconnect with them. It was family that was first ordained before anything else by the Most High. So let's step up to the plate. Let's step up to the plate. I could share some funny things with you. You know, I hope Brenda don't mind me sharing this. But
I mind.
listen to it.
Yeah, you better watch out now.
Oh, but I will say this, baby. I'll say this, just cutting it short. When we first got married, within 3 months, I ran back to the pastor and I was saying to him, you got to get me out of this. Okay, you got to get me out of this. And he asked me, he said, what's going on? So I started telling him, you know, and it's like, you know, she ain't just blah, 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 blah. Everything was about her, right? You know, and he told me, he said, I want you to look at it and see it through her eyes. So I'm like, are you serious? You want me to look at it through her? I'm telling you what's going. And he said, look at it through her eyes. So I got up to walk out of his office and he made me sit down. He said, look at it through her eyes and tell me what you see. So I sat there and I started doing what he said, and tears began to roll down my face. And I looked at him and he looked at me. He sat up. He said, do you see it? I said, yes, sir. He said, go home to your wife. And I thank him for that, because it was what I thought the scripture was saying. But he made me look at it from her perspective, and I saw my fault, what I was doing wrong. So I know some hands was raised, Brenda and Brother Albert.
Yes, I don't know if anyone had mentioned this, and I don't know what you guys were discussing because I just got on, but I know you were talking about basically submission according to what Ephesians states and what men think of that, and how they probably, men are thinking that the wife is not submitting. First and foremost, the problem is not the female, the problem is the man. And hear me out, my brothers. When you look at the word submission, it's two forms to it. You have sub and you have mission. So sub means something, excuse me, that is up under. Then mission is a task, something that you've been tasked to do. So if you're having a problem with your spouse, your wife, submitting, perhaps it's because you have an issue with your mission from the Most High. Once you're working on your mission, your mandate from the Most High, then that woman, that lady, that wife sees you working on that mandate, that mission from the Most High, she would submit to that and work with you. So a lot of problems that is happening now is because our men are not working on their mandate, their mission, their purpose. They're just idly going through life, and so there's nothing for her to submit to help them. So that's some of the issues too that we need to look at as well.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, go see Albert.
Kind of have to say, yeah, Queen Brenda's definitely right in that that mission. And let me apologize for the wind. I'm outside, but I think about my situation. I went through a divorce, and it was the most traumatic thing I've ever experienced, primarily because of my children. And I had to fight for my children. I had to fight to see my children. I had to fight to be in my children's lives, but I would not submit. I knew the importance of the father being in those children's lives.
Yes.
And that was a huge part of why my first marriage ended, because of what my former wife had gone through with her father. That being said, ultimately, my children and I, we are great now. We have wonderful relationships.
Mhm.
But I shudder to think what would have happened had I said, I'm tired of this.
Mm.
Y'all come to me. I'm the daddy. There's another level of that word submission right there.
Mhm.
I had to submit to what my flesh wanted. My flesh wanted me to be a quote unquote macho man and say, the heck with it. I'm the daddy. Y'all come to me. No, I went to them.
Mhm.
I fought for them, but my children saw me fight for them.
Yeah.
They saw me make sure I was there. They saw me. I literally bugged their mother sometimes to see my children, to the point of getting people that she respected involved so that I could see my children, so that I could be there. Because really all she wanted was a child support. Truth be told, that's what she wanted. She did not want me involved, because remember, she didn't have her father in her life. She didn't understand the importance of the father being there. Even after all the years of teaching that we had had in a church that taught about the family structure and the importance of the family structure, but because it wasn't imprinted on her from childhood to adulthood, she still did not grasp it completely. It's hard, brothers. I don't know who this is for. It's hard, brothers, but you must do it. There are going to be times when your children may disrespect you. And you're going to have to grit your teeth, swallow real hard, and know that that's just part of you fighting for them, because they don't understand. My children came back and apologized to me. Baby girl profusely, even to this day. Sometimes, you know, Dad, I didn't realize, baby, it's good. We're good.
Yeah.
You know, we are good. But just know that that is part of you fighting for them as well. As a matter of fact, that's the most important part. They have to understand that you did not give up. Even when it was hard, when they were rejecting you, you didn't give up.
Mhm.
Don't give up. Hang in there. They will come around. I'll tell you one thing that helped. I actually, when we went through the divorce proceedings, I gave the judge the amount that I wanted to give for child support, and they granted it. And they asked, "Are you sure you want to give this amount?" And I told them, "Yeah, those are my children. They're my responsibility." I was way above what the state would implement as far as child support is concerned. You know, child support, your insurance, and medical and all, dental, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Well, at some point during this process, I didn't know, but my middle daughter somehow found out all the things that I was doing, and that their mother had lied to them about it. That was the shift.
Mhm.
When she saw, she said, "Wait a minute, Dad is doing what? And Mama's doing what? And Mama said he's doing what? Okay, Mama's lying."
Mhm.
There was no denying that. You got it right there in black and white. So what happened is that brought about the shift that started them to seeing, okay, wait a minute, maybe I need to take another look at this thing. And, you know, Daddy seemed to have been telling the truth about this. And then all the lies started coming to the surface.
Yes.
That's how the relationship was restored. Do more, go beyond, whatever it takes. It is worth it. In the long run, it's worth it. It's worth it for your children. It's worth it for your generations, for your children's 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 children's. The foundation you lay to be in those children's lives will be well worth it, many generations to come. I can't wait to see what comes from my struggle and fight to be there for my children.
Mhm.
And I will always give Tata Nzambi all the praise for that, because I believe he placed that in me, that tenacity, that stubbornness, or as my wife calls it, bullheadedness. But it served me well in this instance.
Yeah.
And I pray that my brothers, I pray that whoever that's for, I pray they hear it and do it, because I promise you, it is worth it.
And the main thing,
Tondo.
yes, Matondo and Gosi. The main thing that I hear you saying is fight for your children. You know, fight for them. You know, when we look at Tata Nzambi, and this is one thing that I wanted to address earlier. You know, I hear us saying that we are his people. You know, we're his chosen people. But let me just make it even more clearer. We are his children. We're his children. So it's more than being a people. We are his children. The scripture says that we are made in his image, after his likeness. So when I look at different people here, if I was to see your father, I would see some resemblance that you have of him. There's something in you that makes you look like your father and know, yes, you are your father's child. So we are the children of Tata Nzambi. He loves us. He's there for us. He have even said, I've never left you nor forsaken you. But just like we punish our kids, our children, he punishes us. So our punishment is over. And my wife got her hand raised. Our punishment is over. We're his children. He has not rejected us. So please let us not reject him. And let us return to him and come back to him as his children in whom we are. Go ahead, baby.
I was just gonna say to Albert, it was because of who is inside of you. You know, I've known you since we were what, 5 years old or so. I don't know. It's been, we've been knowing each other for quite some time. So
And I know why you had that dream about
Forever.
So yeah, forever. So I know Albert. I know how he was raised. Albert know how I was raised. I know Albert's mom. He know my mom, my aunts, my cousins, my grandmama. We know each other. So I know Albert, and it's because that. And I said this to say this. I know what's inside of him. I know how he was raised. Albert was raised in the church, so he has that foundation. I know there's a lot of things that we were taught in church that was not right, but there were some things that helped us too to have a foundation. And the reason why you did that was because of your relationship that you had with the Creator. He's our Baba, our Tata, our Father. He's never forsaken us. He's never, even when we perhaps may have done something that he did not like, he's never forsaken us, you all. If he would have forsaken us, we would have been destroyed like all other nations when these other people, Kadi and Pemba, came in and did what they did. To this day, we are still surviving and thriving. So you did what you were supposed to do because of who you are and who's inside of you as a father. You knew that Tata never forsook you. And you, as a father, know that about your father was not willing to abandon your children either. So that foundation was very important, that strong foundation that you got. I see you smiling too, Samba. What you got to say?
Thank you, Mama Brandon's family. I'm enjoying the conversation. It is indeed true when, especially as the young ones and the kids, we grew up in the all the family environment, father and mother, because it brings us to behave according to our family. It is also said the situation that is going on right now, not only in US, also in the land, that's unfortunately a lot of kids they are growing up with a single parent, single mother. Somehow it affects how we should think and behave and do things. And somehow this is I call that the evil system. They are the one who are causing these things to make and nowadays the kids to grow up only with a single parent. Imagine when somebody grew up only with his mother. Unfortunately, you're not gonna have much skills if you're not a brave one as a man, like, because you're gonna receive the education straight the way his mother was giving him, but not the way he should receive from his parent. So somehow the person, he can be like, he can behave perfectly as a man, but he's gonna have more female stuff in him because he grew up with that things. That's why Tata Nzambi, I do believe he created us a man and female, and for the parents to raise up the kids together so that we should learn straight from them and be a man, is like how Tata Manzam Zola was saying. we reflect Tata Nzambi image. So we as a human being, we reflect as well our parents' image, education, how they teach us. Yeah, so, and unfortunately, even here in South Africa, the young ones are very bad. In high school, you go find them, all of them in a very bad situation with drugs, smoking, weeds, all these things, because the kind of environment they're in, the music they listen, the friendship they have, it doesn't help them a lot. So I believe we as Tata Nzambi people, we need to pray a lot, and as well, not only with old ones, even in our Zoom session, we should start introducing them to our Zoom session so that they should also start learning the new way that we should behave on the street. Because when they go out, the parents, they don't know what they are doing. When they come out, they go straight to their room. They lock themselves there. We don't know what they're doing. When they go to school, the kind of friends they work with. So and in the dinner, it should be very important as well to have a dinner as a family and to talk always with the young ones, always to tell them. I know that I'm talking like a young one. We don't like to listen when an elder is speaking to us. But the more the elders speak to us, one day we're gonna realize and say, no, my elder is right, my father's right, my mother's right, my uncle's right, so I need to obey. So the education should start really at home, because we're never gonna have a strong society if the family is weak. So the families are the base of the society. And so we need to empower the families so that we can change the society. We can go against the system if in this Zoom session, we start empowering our own houses, our own families, our own children, how they should see Tata Nzambi. Look now, most of the young ones, they see Tata Nzambi as like normal thing. They don't take it serious anymore, because the kind of environment they are. So if we bring them always like together, like for example, there is a lot of people in the USA. If we bring your kids together, one day, let me go to Tata Manzamzola with my kids, Tata and Kanji Kianzam with my kids, and then introduce them to the kind of friends I want my kids to have. I think and I believe we can fight against that. It is not impossible. It is possible. Prayer and consistency and always being with them. Thank you a lot for your time. Sorry for taking
That was good.
too much. Amen.
No need to apologize.
Yeah,
That
no
was
need
good.
to apologize.
And that goes right back to what Elder Makayilu was saying about the family structure. You need that. That's the first and foremost. You need that families. When you go back to look at our culture, you see that family was very important. And family was more than just mother and father in America and on the continent. So we didn't lose everything to Samba. So we had the neighborhood I grew up in, me and Abel grew up in, they were all Black folks. And they would get on you. Amber can attest to this one lady that had this big old pretty yard. You better not put that ball in her yard. It better not go in her yard. You dare not go in her yard either, right, Albert? You remember who I'm talking about? You had to ask permission to go in her yard. See, that's what I'm talking about.
And you better not do it then, because she's gonna tell you no.
You go up in her yard, get out my yard, and you better run too.
Yep. So something was flying at you.
And she was an old lady then, and that lady's still alive today, and I'm grown in my 50s, and she was old then,
Wow.
and she's still alive.
Wow.
My mama said she periodically asks about me, so I got to go see her. The last time I saw her, we was at my grandmother's 100th birthday party, and I remember her saying, "Brenda, I'm so proud of you."
You mess with her and ask her, "Can I come in your yard?"
Nope. Ain't nothing changed.
You know what I ought to do? I'll go run and just stomp all over that grave. Nah. No, but yeah, I'm just saying that the community, so the neighbors, they were your parents too. And you dare not disrespect them, that they would spank you or whoop you too, and then would tell your parents. And you would get it again. I remember when my grandmother did pass, this, you know, the whole community practically came out, because my grandmother was 101 years old. So, I mean, it was so many people at her wake, people I hadn't seen since I was a child. And it was this one lady that was, she was the age of my aunt. She went to school with one of my aunts. So she was in her late 60s at the time. Yeah, late 60s. And she was telling the story how we have a playground in our neighborhood where Albert and I grew up in, where everybody played on, all the kids. And so to let you know how long this playground had been there, this lady, when she was young, she was going to that playground to play, and it was just all boys at the time. Her mother was at work. And my grandmother saw it because the whole neighborhood looked out for the kids. That's just how we grew up. The whole neighborhood watched out. And my grandmother saw her going to that playground, because my grandmother lived right across the street from the playground. And when nobody on there but boys. And my grandmama asked her, "Where you going?" She said, "You go right back up to your house until your mama get home." She turned around and walked back. And when her mama came home, my grandmother walked up to that house and told her mama what happened and what she was trying to do. So the community, the conduct, see, we've lost that concept of community that came from off the continent with our ancestors over here. But this is what I grew up with, the community, how they say it takes a village to raise a child to some, but we didn't lose everything when I was growing up. The community was there. But now it's a different story. Why? Because our communities have been destroyed, and they came up with these suburbs and the concept of you can live amongst us too, and you can have this and that. And so it just took away. You have no sidewalks. You just lost that community feel now. It's not there. So it's a hodgepodge of everybody. But I didn't grow up like that. Like I said, it was an all Black neighborhood, and it was an actual community where they just looked out. Even our teachers lived in our neighborhood. It was several teachers that Mr. Reese, I don't know if you remember him. He had retired though, Albert, that played, that lived on 29th. And then you had Miss Stewart, that was our kindergarten teacher. I don't know if you remember her. I would go walk over her house. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So our teachers lived amongst us. So you had that respect for them.
Bell's mother.
Yes.
Bill Young's mother, Miss Young.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the thing is like you said, though, the community wasn't just, and now this is something we've got to get back. The community wasn't just the people that were related to you. Mm-mm. Everyone was related to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody was your cousin, your uncle, your grandmother. Man, folks they could have been 10 generations removed from you. Grandmama said, what? Grandmama? But that was your grandmother, and they treated you that way. You could walk up to those people's house, get something to eat, sit and talk to them, and go back outside and play.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they treated everybody was each other's kids. That's like you said, we've lost that community.
But then also the community did not move. Everybody stayed, families stayed together. We all lived within, like next door, or if you're in a 2-family house, you have when I was growing up, the house that we lived in, I had my aunt downstairs, my family with my mom and my father and my sister, brother, whatever. We all lived upstairs, next door in the same house was my grandmother and grandfather. And then upstairs from there was a family member. So we all lived right there in that same big house, you know. And then 2 blocks down was my aunt. And I had other family members, you know, across the street.
Yep.
You know, and then there was the people that lived in the community that never moved. So we all knew each other. Everybody knew everything about each other, what we did, what time your parents were going to be home, when you were going to, what time you're supposed to be inside the gate at dusk, you know?
Yep.
So if you were 2 blocks down and it was getting dark, they knew you weren't supposed to be on that block.
You get a whooping.
Go home.
Don't let that light catch you. That's what
Yeah.
they say. Don't you let that
That's
light
right.
catch you.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, that's why the community was a community, because everybody stayed together and we all, you know, we all lived together, and nobody moved. Nobody went, you know, oh, I'm going to move out here and I'm going to move out there. I'm moving to another state. You know, I'll come visit you, you know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, we all stayed together.
Yeah, that's
back
true.
then.
We did.
So,
We
And
did.
isn't it amazing how when we stayed together as Bantu community, they would always, and we thrived, and they would always tear it apart. One that came to mind to me just now was Black Wall Street,
yes,
of many.
Yeah.
because they don't want, we were strong as a community. We were united as a community.
We sure
We were
were.
building each other up. We were helping each other.
Yep.
They did not like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why they put all these ideas in our head to move or to do this, and then also to get rid of Black Wall Street. And then there was other places that where there were, you know, Black communities that were thriving, and they got rid of those communities. too.
Desegregate.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the segregation,
Desegregation. I said,
busting us out.
yes, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing that could
It
happen.
sure was. I said it destroyed our communities. Amber, you know the way
Yes, it did.
they was the Black owners of the little stores we went to, right?
Like-
We had it on
Yeah.
Grapevine and we had it over
Yeah.
there by Carver. We used to go get them cookies before school. They were owned by Black folk, pickles and stuff. We was talking about this. They owned the stores in our neighborhood.
They made a good living from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Everything was right there.
Right there.
You didn't have any areas where there was not what's the food deserts. There was no such thing as a food desert.
No.
Desegregation was the worst.
We had
thing
all
to
we
happen.
needed.
It sure was, Luzolo.
Sir.
Yeah, it was.
And he knew that when he died. He said, I believe I have placed my people in a burning house. Because when they said that, oh, you can live with us and you can have this and that, we thought that that was better, right? Like Tamara Yah was saying, we started moving out, families started moving out from our own neighborhood into their neighborhoods in the suburb, thinking we were doing better and
Break up
living
the
better,
community.
just like our family on the continent. I'm gonna leave Africa and I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to America. I'm going to the UK. I'm going to London. I'm gonna live, thinking it's better. And that young man that died from Congo, his father moved over here 7 years ago, thinking, he said in the interview, life was better. He said, we are not safe over here, he said.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Nkosi Amakudi. Yes, sir. You got your hand raised.
Siami family. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Siami.
Okay. Well, thanks to everybody's input that you guys gave today. I really appreciate it. I'm kind of going against the elements. The wind is blowing, but I'll try to speak as best I possibly can. Now, I believe, I remember the sister asked earlier, how do we get the kids back? And, you know, I remember some of the Nabis talking about on some of their videos. One of the things that they say is some people is just not going to be brought in unless there's a very heavy display of power. You see what I'm saying? So, and I believe you guys lightly touched on that. And as far as the other thing, the first thing that we spoke about today, the monetary system, right? From what we've learned, there was 3 pillars in our community, right? Science, spiritual, political, right? And the monetary system that we had fell under the science, right? So I don't think that we really need to get caught up too much in what man has created through their monetary system, because we have the moon to power of produce regardless. So we gonna make it in their system, period. In our system, period. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the 400 years is really up, and Deuteronomy 28 says we're gonna come in, we're gonna.
Excuse me, let me interrupt you for a second.
Excuse
Where's
me.
the lake around here?
You gotta go get down these steps and go through this path, and you walk straight down there, you go see the lake.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all gonna have to get some video editing skills right from me. But
The water, huh?
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So basically what I'm saying is, if my gift, right? If the pillar, the gift that I've been given is the science, right?
Yes.
I have good intention with what I plan to do, even though yes, I'm still in the Babylonian monetary system, because I'm still in Babylon. We kind of all are here. You know, it's as I think it was Yaya Luzola who said it's a tool. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you spoke about the animals and the bartering and stuff like that, you know, these are things that we gonna learn to do when we touch down. You see what I'm saying? But we not doing that here, you know? The things that we doing here is the things that we know about, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna, we gotta connect like Legos, you know what I'm saying? When we get back, you know, that's how you make stuff out of Legos. You stack one on top of the other one. You see what I'm saying? Until the building is made, the whole landscape that you made with the Legos, it comes together, the bigger picture. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't think that we really need to get caught up in what it looked like and what it might be. Just a couple months ago, the general consensus, ironically, was Russia created Bitcoin. Why they say that? You see what I'm saying? It's because they want you to think bad stuff about Russia, and now they put now it's Russia versus Ukraine, and people coming from over here, from Nigeria, want to fight for Ukraine, and this, that, you see what I'm saying? It's the manipulation of the mind. So now we're not thinking about what our gift is and what we got to do. We gonna fight for them and get killed for them and bleed for them again. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, we can't, it's poison. It's poison for us to derail ourselves from the things that's gonna build you know, it's all poison, but it's more poisonous for us to shy away from things that's gonna make what we trying to do just a tad bit more easy. You know, there's no tax in Africa. If I make 100 grand here right now in crypto, and I go and I manifest that in Africa, I don't gotta pay nobody. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's a science to it, as it was always supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? So you know, that's all I wanted to say for real. You know, it's like, don't, you know, it's like they got they face on the money, but we know that money about to fall down. So we ain't gonna be using that no more. But while we got it, we still working at their jobs. We still, you see what I'm saying? For the same white man face money. We still here.
And
so we go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. But that's what I was saying earlier. You know, I said that we have to mentally detach ourselves from the Babylonian system.
Mhm.
Okay, we have to. You know, you were talking about the things that they were throwing out as far as Russia, you know, and you said that it's a mental thing that they're putting on the people. You know, everything that they have done to us, again, the word is indoctrinated. When they put stuff out there, a lot of us grab it and accept it as truth, and we run with it. Do your research. This is what we've been saying, even teaching about the word. Don't take our word for it. Research it for yourselves. So do your research on Russia. See if exactly what they're putting out in the news is accurate. I think you will find something different. Okay, so we have to detach mentally, and I'm stressing mentally, from Babylon, the Babylonian system. Now, I had said earlier, we're still a part of it, you know, when we're going to work, because we have to provide for our family. We have to live, you know, and take care of the house, everything that we have, you know, we got to take care of those things. So we are still a part of that system in that aspect. This is why I say to everyone, think about the skills that you have and utilize those skills. If you so desire to do something here in the land with your skills that will help you detach now physically from the Babylonian system, do what you can on those skills. Okay. Now, if you start a business here, yes, you still have to play by their rules. Okay. So I'll throw that out. But at least your time will be your time. You can work when you're ready to work. You can work as long as you so desire. You don't have to listen to the job that you're on that say you got to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. You can't get off until 5. You don't have to listen to the job that says you don't have time to go on vacation. You got to work so many hours before you can accumulate that time. Do you have sick time? Okay. You don't have to worry about that if you're able to do your own. And then I have said, think about those skills again and take them to the land. Those are the good things, the good qualities that we want to carry into the land. Not the ways of the West, not the ways of the Mundele. We don't want to take their ways into the land. It's going to destroy us. We will get kicked out. We would get kicked out. We would.
You know, currency has been around for quite some time. So when we say that the dollar is going away, the dollar is not going to go away per se. It's going to be devalued significantly. There was always some type of currency for years. You know, they had in Africa the cowrie. They found the cowrie all over in China. We've had the gold and the silver, but I'm gonna tell you what the real currency is that they're fighting about. And when you look at our teaching about reparations, a time of reckoning, reparation, restitution, and retribution, you will see that all of the world wars was about this. The real currency is the wealth of Mama Africa. That's the real currency. That is how they make their money. This money that we're talking about, they just use this as a means of control. But the real wealth is over there on the continent.
Definitely.
And that's what they're fighting about. And it belongs to us, ours. It's ours, you know. The Most High gave that land to our ancestors. And so
Yes.
when they came into the land, they came under the guys talking about they was going to India to look for a trade route. That was not true. You know, Kempavita was not the only prophet that prophesied about them coming and what they were doing. There were some in Kenya all over that was in the that were Bantu that prophesied this. But I'm gonna talk about her for a minute. She said that the ancestors in a book that I'm reading that was written by our people, not the Mzungus, not the Mundelis, not the Kari and Pemba, that was written by our own people. She said the ancestors came to her and told her why they came, that they was coming to destroy us and that the kings needed to unite because there was a separation. So you had these two kings that had, and they were fighting. And she said that the ancestors said that you need to unite. She said, are they going to enslave you and me? All of us are going to be enslaved. Well, we know the end of the story, that they did not heed her and that they killed her. And we know that we ended up in slavery. They came for our resources. These people know who we are. They knew who we were. The Arabs told them who we were. Why did they come all the way from the north, straight down, bypassing North Africa into West Central Africa to enslave people? Talking about we looking for a trade route and all this and that. No, they were strategic people. When you look at a globe, these people were strategic. They came for our resources. And the number one resource that they have today still is us. It is us. They took the young. When you start looking at that slave ship, you can go and look at how they even have the age list. It was so many young people that they took from off the continent. A lot of the strong men that they took that were young. So they took the youth of Mama Africa and sucked her dry of her youth. That was the most important, resourceful resource that they took from her, us. And they made merchandise of us and still making merchandise of us to this day, because we are what? We are creators. We create. That is why they came up with patents. When they came and stole the concept of the light bulb, when they came in and trashing over up in North Africa, they came up with patents to say, oh, I created this. That's why you had the France and the other Europeans fighting, because they wanted, the British and the Europe, they wanted something. They were fighting over that patent of the light bulb. It's always about our creation and our resource. Take that out of the equation. We don't need the money. We don't need the fiat because we got our resources, and that's what Africa needs to realize. That's what we as a people need to realize. That is what the leaders on the continent need to realize. We have the power in our hand and don't even know it. You killing off your own people just so your family can have money just for your family, when your entire country can be fed, clothed, and live a wonderful life. If you fight for your people and stop being selfish and patting your pocket, side with the enemy that's killing your people, bringing in guns into your community and fighting each other so that they can control and take over. They always come to destabilize an area with war so that they can come and steal the resources. We know their tactics. That's your tactic. And so Africa, our family on the continent, need to wake up. This was strategically done so that they can steal the true wealth. And they still stealing the people. That's why you want to leave your land after you've been and get educated and take your knowledge that you learn away from Mama Africa and bring it to their country. Is that not? That's a type of mental enslavement too. That's a type of enslavement too, because now they're profiting off of your knowledge that you have gained, and you're using it for their country versus your country. Mama Africa will never be built up as long as you continue to leave Africa, take your knowledge and your resources elsewhere and build up for that country and work for that country in Europe. Never, never. Stay in your country, build up Mama Africa, because guess what? We're coming home to help you build.
Yeah.
But you constantly leaving our people are some of the most brilliant, intelligent people on the face of this earth, the things that we create.
Let me ask this real quick. And I'm speaking to my brothers and sisters on the continent. You know the young man that created the television that you didn't have to, he didn't plug it into an outlet? Okay, let me ask this. Did he learn about that technology, how to do that over in the European country? Or did he learn to do that in the land?
In the land.
No.
He created.
Exactly.
We're creators.
So why do they want to take his idea and take him and bring him out of the land into a European country?
So they can profit,
steal it,
profit,
and steal and profit off of it.
Exactly.
Profit off of it.
So the brothers that did the car
Same
the land,
same thing,
same exact thing.
And they poisoned him.
Yes.
When he came over here.
Yes. So what you do in your land, my brothers and sisters, keep it in the land.
Yeah. Yes.
Keep it there. Do not give them access to it.
Don't even share it on the
Don't-
internet.
Yeah, don't share it.
Keep it there.
Yep.
And build your country.
Right.
The other thing is this: the same people who colonized us colonized you in your land.
Yep.
What they got us doing here, they got you all doing there. Let me explain quickly. They got us fighting each other over here because of what we've been indoctrinated with, their ways. You all have been indoctrinated too, their ways. And guess what? They got y'all fighting us. Don't want us to come home because why? We're foreigners. Really?
We're not foreigners.
I am not. We are not foreigners. We're brothers and sisters. We are related. We did not ask to leave Africa.
We were forcibly
We
removed.
did not leave on our own will.
We were kidnapped.
Thank you. So we want to come home. And guess what? The things that we have learned, we want to bring to the land and work together with you.
Yes.
So we can build up Africa again. We don't need their ways.
It's destructive.
We don't need their mentality. We don't need them.
No, we don't need
They
them.
need us.
That's
They
right.
need us.
They need us. Yes.
Right.
Without us,
So
they are nothing.
None of these nations
my brothers,
flourish.
my sisters, please let us come together. Let us come together and work together. I beg you. Let us come together and work together and build the land. We have something that we can teach each other.
Right.
So let us do it. Let us do it.
Every time our people here come together, they have us in such a mindset that when you hear come together, they're not talking about coming together as a people. They always think we have to come together with the other nations.
Right.
Because they think only when we come together with the other nations that we can gain power. They don't understand that we are already the power.
Yeah.
And they are smart. So that's why they're trying their hardest to hold on to us, because we are everything that they have. And without us, really, they know that they have nothing. You know, and I love to sing. Two of my I used to love Bob Marley, you know, until I come to have some sense, I realized that even him, they'll get our people, they'll get all the other people together too. And before you know it, they'll start talking about unite. And it's always unite with the other nations. Once in a while, they'll say Africa unite, but for the majority is Blacks and whites and everybody, let's all come together and unite. Lucky Dube was another one, you know, very powerful singer. Same thing, you know, unite. It's always uniting with them. But when will we focus on uniting as a people? We are the power source. We are the power source, and they know that. So they don't even want to let us go.
No, they don't. Because when they let us go, they letting go of power. Would you want to let go of power? The power? Like you said, we are the power. Because we are what? Gods. Did he not say that we are gods? That's why we said, and we're created in his image. That's why we said Baba, Tata. It's all in our language. Like I said, they know who we are. And he told us to separate from them.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Right.
And I've been talking with different ones from the continent, and just when you connect with your family on the continent, you just learn. It opens up your understanding even more.
Power to the people. Yes.
I'm with you too. That's right. I'm with you too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you was on power to the people.
Yes,
I'm
right.
with
Y'all
Power to
know
the
if
people.
y'all research that, you'll see that fist go way back. It means something.
Yeah.
Yes,
Way
yes.
back.
Power.
We didn't just get this in the set. We got this from off the continent. When y'all research this, when I saw this, I went, that DNA is strong. We had no clue. I had no clue that they had it for a reason. I said that DNA is strong.
Yeah.
Look at the
Strong.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, Wana Yum. Yes, sir.
Matondo Masaka family. Lovu Vamu. Yes, that's what Bana Nzambi needs and wants from us to come back together as one, Mosi. Forgive me, I just want to share something quickly in the book of Acts, chapter 2, book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 43 to 47. It says as follows. And a deep sense of awe came over them all. And the apostle performed many miracles, signs, and wonders. And all the believers met together in one place, shared everything they had. They sold their property and possession and shared the money with those in need. They worshiped together in the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared the meal with great joy and generosity. And they, while praising Nzambi and enjoying the goodwill of all the people. And each day the Lord added the fellowship, those who were being saved. Our fellowship today, dear family, it is not in vain that Nzambi bring us all together once again. There is something spiritual and deep, family. That Nzambi is calling us all to come back to our culture, to our ancestors' culture. Back on the day, they used to share everything, do everything together, as Mama Brenda said. The neighbor was called auntie, uncle, not by the name. We need to bring and teach our children our identity, our culture, for them to see and realize how powerful we are.
Yes.
And look what they did. They used to sell their own stuff to help those who were in need. They used to worship together and do things together. That's what Bana Nzambi wants from us. not just in Zoom, but he wants us to work together. There is no difference now from land and people in USA and other parts of the world because we are one. We came from the same father and the same mother. Let me share to you a song that made our ancestors to cry. A song that made our ancestors to realize how powerful we are. It says, Nuntala vanando sizeto tetembwa zake lelo nuntala vanando sizeto tetembwa zake lelo yeto wantu Mwafrika twatetembwa zake lelo yeto wantu. We are people here in the land Mwafrika twatetembwa zake lelo yamindele yaidibavanza Nzambika tuze yeko yamindele yadidibabanza Nzambika tuze yeko yeto wantu Mwafrika watetembwa zake lelo. The song is saying, we are people, we also people. We also people. Yamindele yandi babanza. The Mundele, they used to think that Tata Nzambe doesn't know us, but Nzambe knows us.
He knows us.
We are in the land in Africa. We also people. Nzambe knows us. Look at our forehead. And you see Tata Nzambe.
Hallelujah.
Let's come together. Our ancestors, they used to share everything. They used to work together. Yes. Everyone in the land who can hear us, we are one. Everyone in diaspora, we are one.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We are one.
Hallelujah.
Let's bring our children for them to know our identity.
Yes.
Let's bring them.
Yes.
Teach them about who we are. Not only us. We get sad when we come and see only elders, no young ones. Where are your children?
Yes.
Bring them, talk to them, teach them. Sorry for taking long and get him.
As Frankie Beverly and May say, we are one.
Yes. Yes. Go see Kange. Yes, sir.
Yes. just kind of touching back on what Mama Brenda was talking about. And Mwanda Lavella kind of led me to Isaiah chapter 2, which kind of, it touches on what a lot of Bantus were doing even today. Isaiah 2, verse 6. And says, Tata Nzambi says, therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, Isolale, because they be replenished from the nations of divination, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. And you like to run after other nations. And we see it happen. We see the other nations encouraging this thing. But no, you become, you're forsaking Isolele when you run after the children of other nations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Told you, spiritual.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
I know she want to talk about it, so I'm going to have to end this. I know some of you want to hear.
It's not nothing that's real big. It's just one simple sentence, but
Yeah.
Before she jump into that, brother, can I just put something out there?
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it interesting? Interesting that the sister.
can't hear you, Albert.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Yeah, okay. Let me try something different. Hold on.
Get off that boat.
What he said?
Look, I'm not on a boat, but I'm sitting on the bank.
Oh, it's on being on
Hey,
that boat.
wait, I tell you.
Come out that boat and walk on that water, Albert.
Yeah, it's that fishing pole with the interference that we can't take place in.
That's what it is. But I was going to say, isn't it interesting that the sister that was just appointed to the Supreme Court is married to a Mandela? And my wife brought it to my attention that the 5 that were nominated are all married to Mandela.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's strategic.
I said that to
It's
Brenda.
strategic.
And look what's
They will
coming
not.
out. Yep.
They won't let us be great.
Clarence Thomas is the same way.
And look
Yes.
what's coming out with Judge Thomas.
Yep.
With him and his wife. All that dirt is coming out now.
Yep. I just found that interesting. I'm listening. Go ahead, sister. Blow us up.
All right. Well, I'm a
That was strategically planned. I want to say this since you brought that up about Ketanji Brown. That was strategic.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And also, I think that man he's Jewish as well. So that's another
That's
thing right there. He's Jewish-ish.
So
They never want to give us the authentic. I said that and I'm putting that out there. They always want to give us
that's
somebody
right.
that's a token.
Right.
You know, they give us the face. You cut it out then. Because you know me, you know what? I'm not gonna bite my tongue.
No, don't
It's
bite
the
your
truth.
tongue.
The truth is the truth. And who don't like it, just keep moving then if you don't like it. That's the way I see it. Keep moving. Keep moving if you don't like what I'm saying.
Yep.
They give us the face, but it's a token of who wants to do what they want to do that's gonna side with them.
Right.
But they give us the face trying to fool us. Oh, we got the first this. We got the first Black president that did nothing for us but gave them money over in Israel.
token.
That's right.
Token, the face, but a token to do what they want to do. They are never, I've said this before, no European government is ever for anybody that is melanated. Just know that.
That's right.
When they do something, just know they have an agenda, people. Stop being fooled by these folks. Put her in place as the first Black Supreme Judge means nothing to us. It means nothing to me because she's not going to do nothing for our people. She's been strategically placed there. Point blank. If you don't like it, move off then. That's the truth of the matter. Watch. Everybody they put in place, that's the first Black this, first Black that, they never do anything for us. Never have, never will. Because if they do, they gonna kill them.
That's right.
Yes. You put my face
Because the system is not designed that way.
No, it's not.
Their system is not designed to help.
Never
us.
have and never will.
Never will. Never will. Never.
Like I said, we have to get out.
Stuff, you know, I saw you had the little phone in your hand, whatever. So I just said, nah,
Huh?
Nothing. That's just me. But you know, you look like you was recording a video. I ain't gonna mess up your video.
Oh, he's not talking to us.
No.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut some stuff out.
Yeah.
But
You don't need to cut nothing out. Leave it on there. Leave it on there. They know how we feel about them.
They know how we roll tomorrow.
You know what?
No secret.
You know what, Queen? I have to agree with you. I do, because
I know, but you too.
I'm tired. You know what? But I'm tired. I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. I'm tired of keeping stuff out. You know, our time is up, and it's time to call the spade a spade.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
But I know you gotta deal with YouTube-ish.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So we can stay on here and try to give a little bit of information to our people.
Yeah, you know, Queen said make noise. So we're making noise. Okay. We want our reparations. We want our money. Said this to Brenda, and I heard Dr. Moonby say it. I listened to her yesterday, and she said it. She said, when you look at in history, back in the scriptures, there was always one prophet for that era, that time. It was always one rising up, right? She said, but today, they're all here at the same time.
Ah, that was a good point.
Yes.
Good point.
Yes.
We are back.
Yes.
Like poltergeist, they're here.
And they know who they are.
Yes. We are back.
Yes.
And we're back to take control again.
And take
Wow.
rightfully ours that was stolen.
So it's a must that we open our mouth and speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
to bring judgment against these people for what they've done to our people on the land and in the diaspora. How they killed our people, raped our mothers, stole our babies, sold the babies, all the evil, cut off our limbs of our ancestors, just stole from the land, the people, the resources, and still stealing today. And then they want to sit up here and have the moral fortitude to say that Russia's wrong for going in Ukraine when all the devilment that you've done to our people, you want to brush it aside. I dare you. Judge yourself first. Look at yourself in the mirror and judge yourself, and you do right. Because if not, judgment has come. It's not coming. It has come and it has started. No, I'm tired, y'all.
Yes.
And they trying to sit up there and say, right, and then we got our own people saying, oh, let's pray for Ukraine. When they going over here in Africa, doing all this mess in Africa, when they killing our people over here, they killing our young men over here in America. Nobody's saying anything. Black Lives Matter was taken over, and it was George Soros and all of them funded that for a reason.
Yeah.
They don't have nothing for us.
Nothing.
Now y'all ain't talking about the when if you want to be morally right, if you want to do the right thing by the people you've done all this hell to, and continue to do, killing our young men like this. That man didn't have no gun on him. They said that you are innocent until proven guilty, but they vilify and kill our young men right then and there and don't even give them an opportunity.
Right.
And you said that this is immoral what they're doing. I dare you. You are immoral for what you have done to the people of the Most High. You shall be judged.
Hallelujah. And
Hallelujah.
Started.
Speak.
Ingeta.
Ingeta.
Yalla.
Tell them why we said Labuvamu and follow with the Yalla. Tell them.
Sorry, Mama, I didn't get you.
Tell them why we said Labuvamu and follow with Yalla. So that the people can know what we're saying.
Yalla. Nous vamos.
Yalla.
Que se voca, que se go.
Hey!
We need to domain. We have the power. So they say Yala with authority because the power was given to us. Is with you, family. It's on the Masaka, Mama Brenda. We need such a power to come out. Wow.
Tell them what
You know,
it means.
What it means.
The
Tell
meaning, look,
Lavuvamu, tell them what Lavuvamu means.
Luvuvamum is like when say peace. And we say, Yala, let the peace reign.
Yeah.
Yala means to take control, to domain. So the peace has to come. Our children have to enjoy the land. Our generation, they have to enjoy. So let the peace come and let our time to control and domain start now.
Now.
Yes. They always want us to show them compassion. That way they can take our energy and feed off of it.
Yeah.
But we don't have any more compassion.
No.
Our compassion, it's over.
No.
We don't have any more.
Yes.
Before the divine allow us to show them compassion, he will cut us off from emotions. Look them in the eye like we don't even know what's going on because it's hallelujah. It's not for them anymore.
No.
It's done.
And you know why? You know why the compassion has been cut off? Because judgment has started. They have had ample opportunity to get it right and to do right by us. And they have not done it. They still in our land, still in the resources, impoverishing the people on the land, killing our young Black men over here, like I said, stealing our inventions as we create. They still doing us wrong.
No more.
And their time is up. So we show no mercy because our Creator is showing no mercy. And because we are judging them, Bana Nzambi is going to judge them.
That's right.
Remember, we're created in His image. We're judging them and they shall be judged for all the diabolical evil that they've done to our ancestors. They shall be judged.
Yes.
It's over.
And our righteous forefathers are here with us now.
Yeah.
Nehemiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel.
They know that.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
I'm tired, you all. It started this morning. Y'all could tell on the chat group. I'm tired. As Fannie Lou Hammer said, I'm sick and tired of being tired. And I know that there's a process. We're talking about going home and getting together, and there's a process. And I've seen the process just grow. Even from us and where we have come from, I've seen growth. But I'm just ready. I'm ready. But I know everything is on a timeline. But it's moving quicker and quicker. And our people need to understand. The people that are still ignorant in organized religion, they need to understand what's going on from a spiritual perspective with the Ukraine and Russia. It's about your land and your resource and them having control over your land.
Yes.
You need to understand that. You need to understand that if the European Union wins, that means that they will continue the process that they started with this here pandemic so that they can take over the world. You have to understand that there's been a buffer placed with these people, and that buffer is named Vladimir Putin. He's been placed to buffer them to stop them. Y'all need to understand that because our people saying, pray for Ukraine. No, pray for the people of Africa. And when I say that, I'm talking about myself because my ancestors came from Africa. Pray for the people of Africa. Pray for the land of Africa. Pray for the kingdom of Congo.
Pray for the kingdom of
Pray
Congo.
and pray for Putin.
Yes.
He's our buffer, you all.
Praise
Y'all
for
have
Dr.
to understand what's
Nzambi.
going on here.
Got you.
He's a buffer.
Yes, he is. Yes,
I'll
he
be
is.
silent no more.
Mm-hmm.
I will be silent no more. Hallelujah.
This war didn't just start. Liars.
No.
This war been going on for
No.
8 years because y'all wanted to come in and take over Ukraine. Y'all been fighting for 8 years. The president that was here, that was in office during that time, did not want to join with the European Union. And they impeached him. And where is he at now? In Russia. And then fast forward to 2019, you put in somebody that don't even have experience in politics. That was a comedian slash lawyer that joined the union. So you have 2 unions, the Europeans fighting against it. You got the European Union and the Eurasian, which is the US, most of the USSR fighting each other for power and resource. That's what it's about. Our people need to stop being ignorant.
Yes.
No more. No, don't pray for Ukraine. You pray for your own people.
Right.
Pray for your own people first. Put yourself first for once.
Yes. Yes, for once.
All the killing that they done in just Congo alone, not on the transatlantic slave trade, in the Arabic slave trade, how they have killed us.
250
Nobody want to
million.
talk about that.
Right.
250 million. 250 million.
Yeah.
It angers me, you all.
Yeah.
It angers me.
I'm just hoping that this turnaround, since our 400 years is up, so-called, since 2019, that it won't take another 20, 30 years for us to really get up out of here.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
I think it's a couple of within a few months,
not.
but some people
It's
saying,
not.
"Oh, it's gonna take longer." I don't think it'll take longer. I just pray that's not going to take too much
They're
longer.
buying time. They're buying time.
I say before 2025.
Yes, that's
Oh
right.
yes, it is before.
I predicted 2026, so it's got to be before that. July 4th, 2026 is America's 250th birthday.
Everybody better be out of here.
Yep.
Yes.
I say this, be prepared. If you're not prepared yet, it's your fault.
Yes.
Okay. You all know that when they left out of Kamata,
you still recording?
Yes.
He said he's going to get off. He got something to say. Okay.
Oh.
All right, social media, we finna end it so we can have our juicy talk.
Hold on. Let me say this. I was saying, we saw in Kamata, and the scriptures tell us that they were told to eat the Passover and that they were going to be moving out, and said, eat it quickly.
Eat it quick.
Okay? Because you got to move. So I'm telling you, that's going to happen again. I'm not saying Passover. I'm not saying you got to eat it quickly. But what I'm saying is we're going to have to move quickly.
The Bible is esoteric. So remember that,
Okay.
people. It's very esoteric.
So you may have to leave furniture. You know
Oh, I can't carry that anyway.
All right. You may have to. You might
have
even have to get up out of here, without selling the house.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to move quickly. So
You have to leave your condo behind, your car behind, loved ones. You may not be able to give them that phone call. See ya.
Yep. Right. So with that,
my go bag is ready.
All right. All right.
I gotta make one.
So I will say, mentally detach yourself from this Babylonian system.
Oh yeah.
And if you can detach yourself physically, do it. All right. They said again that the system is all over the world, but you can detach from it. You don't have to be a part of it. Use your skills.
Absolutely.
Use your skills. Okay. Take the good and leave the bad. So with that said, we love you. We thank you for being with us. We may have to do a part 2 on this. We are not being silent anymore. We're going to speak. We're not going to bite our tongue.
Down the
Okay?
shofar.
Yes,
We
there you
love
go,
you.
Elder.
Yes.
Sound the shofar, the
Sound
alarm.
the shofar.
Yes.
Ingeta.
Ingeta.
I love you. Be increased.
Ingeta.